Let's first understand what is interprocess communication. So processes within the system are two types. Processes can be independent or they are cooperating with each other. Cooperating processes can affected and cannot be affected by the other processes, including sharing of the data. Reasons of cooperating processes: suppose you want to share some information, suppose you want to speed up the computation, you need to do modularity, convenience. Cooperating processes need interprocess communication. There are two models of interprocess communication. The first one is shared memory and the second one is message passing. Now we will understand this thing with using real time example. For example, I am alone and I'm cooking for two-person, so I don't want to communicate with each other. I'm alone able to do that particular work, cook the data for two-person. But now suppose I want to cook the food for 50%, so it is not possible for me to do everything alone. I need to coordinate with the people, right? There are people available around me, and I'll tell them, please give me, pass a salt, please pass the oil, please provide some cutted vegetables to me. It means I'm cooperating with other people also. So same way, the processes are depending on some other processes and they are communicating with each other for getting some data or some information. So there are the processes. You can see here process A, process B, and the kernel. And these are the process A and process B. They are sharing some data in between. This is the communication model. So these processes are independent process and they are directly communicating with the kernel. But these processes are dependent process. They are communicating with each other and they are sharing some data. Now there are various problem of IPC. The first one is producer consumer problem. Okay. Paradigm for cooperating processes: producer produces the information and that is consumed by the consumer process. There are two type of buffers. The first one is unbounded buffer and the second one is bounded buffer. Unbounded buffer places no practical limit on the size of the buffer, and bounded buffer assume there is a fixed buffer size. So in bounded buffer, the size is fixed, and unbounded buffer, the size is not fixed. It is unlimited size. Okay, so synchronization means what? Message passing may be either blocking or not blocking. Blocking consider as a synchronization. Blocking send has the sender block until the message was received. Blocking receiver receive has receiver block until the message is available. So blocking means until the message is available, it is going to block. For example, I can say about the bounded buffer, there are some limitation. Whatever capacity is there, it will go up to that, then it will going to block. In non-blocking passages, a sender can send the messages continuously, and non-blocking receiver has received a valid message or a null message. So in your mailbox, you can see that there are lots of messages coming continuously. So this is the non-blocking kind of communication. And if I'm talking about the mobile phone, so there is limited size of messages. If you are exceed the size of messages, you are not going to get the proper messages. It is going to block, and if your memory going to full. So this kind of synchronization are there for blocking and unblocking messages. So blocking messages are having certain limitation, certain capacity. Beyond that capacity, you cannot send the messages. Now what is race condition? See here, there is one diagram shown here, one picture shown here. Okay, there is a person who is going to read the balance. It will check enough balance is there or not. If it is there and he want to withdraw some money, so balance minus withdrawal and update the balance. Now there is one person, John, who is having his account in this bank and he is having 5,000 rupees into his account. Okay, now what happened? John's friend Mac, who want to transfer some amount of money into the John's account. Okay, now John will read the balance. If it is enough balance, the balance is equal to balance minus withdrawal and update the balance. he want to withdraw some money and the Mac want to transfer some money into that particular 5,000. Now John has withdrawn 2,000 rupees from his 5,000 rupees, and the balance is 5,000 rupees and withdrawal is of 2,000 rupees. So final balance is of, I can say, 3,000 rupees. Now parallelly what Mac is doing, he is parallelly reading that John is having 5,000 rupees in his account. So I can say that uh, enough balance is there, deduct the amount from the Mac account. John's balance is equal to John's balance plus the transferred money from that particular Mac. Mac is going to transfer 4,000 rupees. But there is continuous, both the person are reading, the John is reading there is 5,000 rupees and parallelly he is withdrawing money. So last update will not going to reflect. Right now his money is 3,000 rupees, but what Mac is reading? Mac is reading that there is a 5,000 rupees. Actual money is 3,000, but Mac is reading 5,000. So whatever 4,000 he is transferring, the final he will get 9,000 rupees because he read the wrong data. Both the person are reading same time, update are finally not reflected. So I can say that the final amount must be 3,000 plus 4,000 is a 7,000 rupees because John has already withdrawn 2,000 rupees. But they both are doing this thing parallelly. This is called rates condition. So update is not going to reflect and the output will comes as a wrong output. So what you need to do, you need to order thing first, in which order you have to perform the update. So race condition is a situation where several processes access and manipulate the same data concurrently. And the outcome of the execution depends on the particular order in which the access take place. This is called race condition. Race condition are the most commonly associated with the computer science in computer memory or the storage. A race condition may occur if the commands to read and write a large amount of data are received at most the same instant, and the machine attempts to override some or all of the old data. While that old data is still being read, the result may be one of the, we can say, either crash or illegal operation. It means whenever more than one processes want to access the same data, and the changes are not going to reflect, so the new processes are going to read the old data, so that we can say that illegal operation will going to happen here. Incorrect, due to incorrect order also race condition will going to happen. Now the critical section problem to avoid the race condition. What is critical section problem? Suppose you are having processes P0, P1 up to Pn minus 1, and the processes has critical section segment of a code. Processes may be changing shared variables, updating table and writing files. So these are the three processes up to n number processes, n minus 1 processes. There is memory and the shared data. Okay, now what is meaning of critical section? You can see here process synchronization. Uh, this is the critical section. One process enters here, other processes are waiting. Now consider the processes. Each process has critical section segment code. Processes may be changing common variables, updating the table, writing file. When one process has in critical section, the other may not be in its critical section. Critical section problem is also a design protocol to solve this. Each process must ask a permission to enter into the critical section in entry section. May follow the critical section with the exit section and that reminder section. What I'm telling here, there are the processes who are changing the variable, who are sharing the data, they are doing the updates. For example, here you can see that John and Mac both are doing transaction on this 5,000 rupees, but using critical section only one process at a time is allowed to enter. Once that particular process will complete its execution, other has to wait, and once it will complete the execution, then only other process will going to allowed to walk into that critical section, then and then you will going to get your result correct. For example, there is only one seat is available into the theater and 5% wants to access that seat, but one person at a time can allowed to book the ticket for that particular seat. For 5% cannot book that particular one seat, because otherwise it will going to create a conflict, right? So one process at a time is allowed to enter into the critical section, so that they have to take the entry as well as exit. So request for the permission to enter into the critical section, and then they can change the variables or whatever common data they are having. So you can see that here, do enter the critical section, exit the critical section. So it is going to check the condition whether it is true or not, whether it is allowed to enter into the critical section or not. Now, how to give the permission, you can say, to enter into the critical section. So using mutual exclusion.
Ma'am,
Yes.
are you changing the slides?
Yes.
We are not able to see, that's why.
I'm on solution to critical section problem slide.
Okay, now we can see.
आप पिन करो ना ऐसा है तो.
It was not changing actually.
But I'm continuously changing. See here. Are you able to see this? I'm continuously changing. Is it is it
Yeah, now it is.
okay? Fine. Okay, see here, if you have got the problem, race condition means two person are going to see the same data and they are going to update. So the result will going to become false because John and Mac both are working on the same balance 5,000 rupees. John want to withdraw 2,000 and Mac want to add 4,000 rupees, right? But the result will come wrong because John has withdrawn 2,000 rupees, so final money is 3,000. But Mac can read 5,000 and he will add 4,000. So final result Mac got is 9,000 rupees. Why this happens? Actual value will be 7,000 rupees because after withdrawing 2,000 rupees from 5,000, there is a 3,000 rupees, right? Because of I can say more than two processes are allowed to enter to do updation into same data at the same time. I have given you example of ticket booking. There is one ticket for the theater or 5 p.m. show is remaining and 5% wants to see that same movie and they are placing the booking request in that particular one seat, so it is going to create a big issue. At a time only one person can book the ticket for that particular seat. So this kind of problem is known as a race condition. And the second one is critical section. It means when processes are sharing data, variable memory, updating table, they are writing on the same file. So in that case, there is only one process at a time is allowed to enter into the critical section. If more than one processes are allowed to enter into the critical section, it is creating a big problem. For example, suppose I am writing on the board and other five faculties are also allowed to write into the board. So maybe you will not able to read the proper data. If whatever I have written, somebody else will come and remove it. So it is not we can say good thing to allow more than one processes same time. Now the next is mutual exclusion. Mutual exclusion means what? It is one kind of lock, I can say. For example, I want to read something and I'm in a room and I don't want disturbance. So what I will do, I'll lock the room from inside so other cannot come into that particular room until I can say unlock it. So mutual exclusion in which process P1 is executing in its critical section, then no other processes can be executing into the critical section until process P1 will going to allow or unlock the critical rock section, and it is going to release the critical section. Then process P2 is allowed to go into the critical section and it is blocked until it is going to release the critical section. Now, these are these various solution how you can manage the critical section. So mutual exclusion means if one process is executing into the critical section, no other processes can be executing into the critical section. Second one is progress. If no process is executing into the critical section, exists some processes that wish to enter into the critical section, then the section of the process, they'll enter into the critical section. Next cannot be postponed indefinitely. So I can say that progress should be there. One process is executing in critical section and other processes are means they want to access the critical section. So you cannot keep it into, I can say that it has to wait for some more period of time or it will go into the loop. So you have to allow them. The third thing is bounded waiting. A bounded, or we can say a bound must exist on the number of times the other processes are allowed to enter into the critical section after a process has made a request to enter into critical section and before that request is granted. So bound must be exist on the number of time the processes are allowed to enter into the critical section after process has made a request to enter into the critical section before the request is granted. So one process is having some particular bound that it is going to enter for some time period or some there are some time it is going to enter. Bound should be there. It is not like that one process is allowed continuously to go into the critical section. Now there are some solution. The first one is Peterson solution. Two process solution. Assume that the load and store instruction are atomic. that cannot be interrupted. The two processes share two variables, integer turn, boolean flag 2. The variable turn indicate this two whose turn is to enter into the critical section, and flag array is used to indicate if the process is ready to enter into the critical section, the flag is true. It implies that the process is ready. So there is one critical section problem solution is the Peterson solutions. When two processes are there, then you need to use the turn and flag. Means whatever the turn process is getting, it is going to indicate that the turn is there, and flag is true means now this process is ready because its turn is on the way. So you can see here flag is equal to true means I'll enter into the critical section first. Turn is equal to j, it is allowed to execute. While flag and turn both is equal to j, it means BC wait. Critical section flag is equal to false means it is not ready. You have to reminder that it has to enter into the critical section. So there are the software based solution and hardware based solution also there. Software based solution not work on the modern computers. So that mutual exclusion, you can say Peterson solution prove that mutual exclusion is preserved. Progress requirement is also satisfied. Nobody has to wait continuously. Bounded waiting requirement is also there. Nobody has to wait continuously. There should be some bounded for entering into the critical section. Synchronization hardware, many systems provide the hardware support for the critical section code. Uniprocessor could be disable interrupt. Currently running code would be executed without preemption. Modern machine provide the special automatic hardware instruction. Atomic is equal to non-interruptible. So these are the, we can say, various solution. The first one is lock. It means I told you that if I am in room and I don't want disturbance of anybody because I'm having exam, I need to read something. I'm not able to, I can say, allow somebody because I need a peaceful work environment. So what I will do, I'll acquire the lock into that particular room. So until I'll unlock, nobody is able to come into that particular room. You can consider room as a critical section. Once I'll release the lock, so other will going to enter into the critical section. So lock 0 means no process is there in critical section, means lock is open. Lock is equal to 1 means there is some process into critical section, that's why it is locked. Okay, now test and set we will, okay, there are two threads, execute A is equal to A plus 1. Say start with the value 100. Yes,
आपकी स्लाइड्स चेंज नहीं हो रही है मैम.
I don't know why I'm continuously changing. आपको क्या दिख रहा है अभी?
सॉल्यूशन टू क्रिटिकल सेक्शन प्रॉब्लम पे ही अटका है.
नहीं, मैं तो आगे काफी जा चुकी. प्रोड्यूसर कंज्यूमर प्रॉब्लम नहीं दिख रहा है?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
ठीक है, चलो मैं फिर से शेयर करती हूँ. अभी देखो तो क्या आ रहा है? प्रोड्यूसर कंज्यूमर प्रॉब्लम दिख रहा है?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine.
Yes,
Now
ma'am.
we will start inter-process communication problems. The first one is producer consumer problem. So what is the story actually? I'll let you know the story behind this. See, these are the pictures. You can see here there is a producer. For example, there is one person who is having factory of Parle-G biscuit, and the other person who is having shop of Parle-G biscuit. And now he want to bring some Parle-G biscuit from that factory to his particular outlet or the shop. And this Parle-G biscuit he can carry through that particular truck, or you can say a buffer. Okay, so truck is going to load until all the space filled into that particular space available into the truck. Okay, now that truck will move to the particular person shop and it is going to empty over there. And once the whole truck will going to empty, it will again go for the next traveling, next round of getting the Parle-G biscuit from the factory, right? So you need to consider this truck as a buffer here. And now you please listen how the producer and consumer are going to work. What is the buffer? Okay. So this is called bounded buffer problem also. It is the classical problem of multiprocess synchronization. The problem describes two processes, the producer and the consumer. These are the two processes, right? And they are sharing the common fixed size buffer used as a queue. Means you are sharing the truck or the trolley. The producer's job is to generate the piece of data put into the buffer and start again. At the same time, the consumer is consuming data and it is going to remove into the buffer. For example, producer is your factory who is producing the Parle-G biscuit. So it is putting that Parle-G biscuit into the trolley or the truck, and the consumer who is the shopkeeper and he wants to remove that particular Parle-G biscuit. So they are doing one piece at a time. Now the problem is to make sure the producer won't try to add the data into the buffer if it is full, and the consumer won't try to remove the data from an empty buffer, right? The problem is once the truck is full, the producer is not allowed to put the more number of Parle-G biscuit into that particular truck, as well as from empty truck, consumer is not allowed to remove the Parle-G biscuit packets. Now the solution of this producer is to either go to a sleep or discard the data if the buffer is full. And the next time consumer removes an item from the buffer, and it notify the producer who start to fill the buffer again. Now the buffer is full. Now the truck is full. He has kept the 1000 packets of Parle-G biscuit. Now what is the next job? The next job is of the producer is to go into the sleep mode, or he has to discard the data. Now buffer is full. Now I'll wait. I'll go into the sleep mode. Once that truck will come back, then I'll put next Parle-G 1000 biscuit packets for the next round, right? But for that, consumer will notify the producer that now the buffer is ready to fill again. Sorry. In the same way, the consumer can go to the sleep if it finds that buffer is to be empty, and the next time the producer puts the data into the buffer, it wake up the sleeping consumer, and the solution can be reached by means of inter-process communication, typically using semaphores, right? The same way, consumer has to also wait until the trolley or the truck will come back with the filled Parle-G biscuit. So until it will come, the consumer will also go into the sleep mode. Okay, and how it will going to do such kind of inter-process communication? Using the semaphores. Okay. Sometimes the result leads into the deadlock where the processes are waiting for each other to awaken. The problem can be also generalized to have multiple producers and consumer. For example, printer. Somebody is giving the printout and other one is not getting the chance. Once there is some problem come into that particular printer, paper jam or something like that. So the second person has to wait continuously until the printer is available. So you can say that there is some deadlock situation will occur. Now you can see through this, understand through these images, there is a producer and consumer. Producer produce the information and that is consumed by the consumer. Now what is buffer? Buffer is the shared memory. It is used for the producer to put the data into that, and consumer can access that particular buffer. So producer is putting data into this buffer and consumer is consuming data from that buffer. Producer and consumer need to be synchronized with each other. When buffer is full, when buffer is empty. So for that, they need to synchronize with each other. So producer will put the data into his slot and consumer will receive the data into his slot. When producer is putting data into the buffer, the counter of producer will going to increase. And when consumer is, I can say at that time, counter of consumer will going to decrease because he don't have to do anything. Okay, there are many items to be delivered. You can see here there are some boxes kept over there, and the lorry is available and the empty too. Let's send the items. There is a lorry is also available and it is empty too. Now items are packed and loaded into the truck. Here it is going to load. It is going to load until the truck is full. Now there is no more item to be loaded. This is your buffer. Now truck start its engine and ready to go. There are still many items to be delivered, but the truck is full. So I must have to wait for the next trip. You can see here there are lots of boxes that you have to put into the truck, but truck is full. So you need to wait. Now the truck starts engine and ready to go. So the worker wait for the next trip and worker will going to sleep until that lorry will come back with the, we can say, empty buffer. Now you can see here the producer is sleeping. Okay, now sending items to the some place after traveling. According to the address, this is the location, it reached to the destination. And now the items are unloaded from that particular buffer or the truck. Now the truck is full with the item, it should be unloaded. Now unloading happens.
हेलो मैम
Yes.
मैम आपने स्लाइड चेंज की है?
हाँ, काफी चेंज की, मैं कंटिन्यूअसली चेंज ही कर रही
मैम
हूँ।
हो ही नहीं
नहीं।
रही
हमारे
हाइड
अंदर
ही नहीं हो
ये दे रहा है कब से हम वो प्रोडक्ट कंज्यूमर में ही है।
हाँ वही मैम।
पता नहीं क्या इशू आ
अब हुई
रहा
मैम।
है।
ये हो गई मैम, अभी ये
अब
ट्रक
हो
है।
गई।
तो फिर मुझे ये फिर से स्टोरी बतानी पड़ेगी ना पूरी। पता नहीं चला ना आपको, ये अभी चेंज हो रहे दिख रहा है?
हाँ अभी दिख रहा है।
हाँ अभी दिख रहा है।
ठीक है, मैंने वो पार्ले जी बिस्किट की स्टोरी सुनाई ना आपको कि देयर इज वन फैक्ट्री हु इज प्रोड्यूसिंग दी पार्ले जी बिस्किट एंड देयर आर वन शॉपकीपर हु वांट्स दैट पर्टिकुलर पार्ले जी बिस्किट, राइट? एंड देयर इज वन ट्रक थ्रू व्हिच दे आर doing the transfer of पार्ले जी बिस्किट, right? What is the, that truck is known as a buffer which is shared memory that is going to share by the, I think are you able to see PPT?
यस मैम। एक आदमी दिख रहा है वो खींचता हुआ।
Okay,
खींचने में
देखो ये मूव हो रही है, दिख रही है मूव होती?
नो
मूव नहीं दिख रहा है? ठीक है, देखो मैं मिनिमाइज करके मूव कर रही हूँ। अभी देखो, अभी मूव होता दिख रहा है?
यस मैम।
यस
यस मैम।
ठीक है, फिर मैं मिनिमाइज मोड में ही रख रही हूँ, ठीक है? Here you can, okay. So there are some items that is you have to deliver to that particular consumer's place, and the lorry is also available and it is empty too, so you have to send the items. So the items are packed in and loaded into that particular truck. Now truck, you can see it is loading, and now the truck is full and there is no more items can be loaded. Now truck start and ready to go. There are still so many items to deliver, but the truck is full, so they have to wait until the next trip. And truck will start and ready to go. Now in that case, what producer will do? Producer will going to sleep, okay? Because it has to wait for the next trip, because the buffer is, the truck is fully loaded. Now truck is traveling with the sending item to that particular place. Now truck is reached to the address, reached to the destination. Now the items are going to unloaded at that particular place. Now Parle Ji biscuit are reached to that particular shopkeeper's place, and that shopkeeper is unloading that particular Parle Ji biscuit and putting into his shop. So you can see here that unloading happens here. Now truck is empty, no more items to be delivered. Now it has to go back to the factory and it is going to wait for the next trip. Now at the side of consumer, now consumer go into the sleep state for the next trip until the truck will come with the next fully loaded Parle Ji biscuits. Now return to the factory, truck is going to return to the factory for loading more number of items. Okay. So producer need to wait until the buffer is full, and the consumer need to wait if the buffer is empty. So to solve the problem, a less experienced programmer might come up with the solution shown below. In this solution, there are two library routines are used, sleep and wake up. When sleep is called, the caller is blocked until the other process wake it up by using the wake up routine. The global variable time item count hold the number of item into the buffer. Okay. So producer has to wait until or it will go into the sleep once the buffer is full, and it will reach to that particular consumer's place. The producer's counter will become plus, and producer will go into the sleep state until the consumer will going to send the wake up call. The same way, now buffer is having item 0, it is completely removed, and the buffer count is going to decrement, and the wake up call from the producer will not come until that particular time the consumer will go into the sleep state, because buffer is empty, there is no other things to remove, so it will go into the sleep state until the next lorry will full up with the biscuits. Since both the processes will sleep forever, we have run into the deadlock. The solution therefore is unsatisfactory. Now what is the problem here? For example, there is one accident occur and the in mid of the way I can say that there is some accident occur, but both the parties are waiting for each other. Producer is also waiting and go into the sleep state, and the consumer is also waiting and go into the sleep state. So both will go into the deadlock state. So this is, I cannot say that satisfactory result, it is unsatisfactory. An alternative analysis is that if the programming language does not define the semantics of the co-concurrent access to the shared variable, in this case item count, without use of synchronization, the solution is unsatisfactory for that reason without needing to explicitly demonstrate the race condition. Semaphore solve the problem of lost wake-up calls. Okay, so this is the problem because both the parties are waiting for each other to send the wake-up call. Both the parties are sleeping, and when their turn comes, until that turn comes, when sometime happens, it happens there is a condition of deadlock occurs. So what is the solution of this problem? The solution of this problem is semaphore. Semaphore is an object with one integer value which can be manipulated by two routines. Historically, these routines are, I can say, P and V. P means same post and V means same wait. So it will going to check S is equal to S minus 1, and if S is less than 0, buffer is empty. In that case, wait into the semaphore. And V means S is equal to S plus 1 if thread waiting on S, wake up 1, wait 1 and wake up 1. See how it is going to happen. Okay, when processes are initially 0 and it enter into the critical section, so now it will become the 1. I'll explain you through the simple normal example. See here, there is one litter box and there is one cat, right? So semaphore initially have value 1 and the post called before critical section and the V call before wait call after the critical section. Now there is a cat into the litter box. It means litter box will become 0 because it has locked that particular litter box, and then the next has to wait until that litter box will become 1. Initially it was 1 when cat enter into this litter box. Now it will become 0, means there is one cat into the litter box and it has locked by that particular litter box, and somebody else has to wait until it becomes 1. Okay, when it will become 1, it means litter box is empty, cat came out from the litter box, and the other cat can enter. So this is the logic behind this semaphore. So semaphore is the generalized lock. Am I stop here or continue karu bolo? What should I do?
Stop here.
Okay, fine.